going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S. Oh, can we put the that QR code up now that the website is working so people can? That's probably good right there. Yeah. So, part of what's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games BS, part of Den Media Group, presented by the MFTK Foundation. You can go now. The StreamYard is allowing us to do QR codes. Go up there, right there to the QR code. And you can just go to the website and you can donate and do whatever it is you need to do. Right now we are having our, I guess we're doing our second year of 7-on-7. So we will be raising funds for that, as well as, just a lot of other different things that we're doing. I'm trying to figure out if I want to give away, if I want to move some birds for Thanksgiving. If I'm trying to, I don't know. What y'all think? Should we give away some Thanksgiving baskets? Y'all in for that to feed the poors, to help people out? I don't know. If we are, that's that QR code, donate it. If you want to help a kid get into the showcase that may or may not be able to afford it, it's $25 for the showcase. You can donate that. Just make sure you put in the description that that's what that is going for. The MFTK Foundation sponsors all kinds of different things. Londa, you're right. The only reason I've done that, the turkey drop, is because of Nino Brown. If you have never seen it, New Jack City, it's also in Hoodlum. They're on the back of trucks throwing out turkeys. Like Nino, I think, hit a kid with a frozen bird. If you've never had a Nino Brown moment, you gotta have a Nino Brown moment. It's important to have a Nino Brown moment. But outside of that, that's what brings you the show each and every week. Not each and every week, 3 times a week, or however many times we do these different things. Also, this would be a great opportunity to tell you guys a call to action. What we need is, I need subscribers. Currently, we are at, well, there's a lot of things I got to do. I got to catch up on the damn pick'em, the pigskin pick'ems and the college football pick'ems. Apologies for that. Slipped my mind. We are 6,812 subs. We need to get to 7,000. So that puts us at, 188 subs that we're away from the 7,000. Once we get to that, we will do a giveaway. For my people on the Twitterverse, make sure you come to the YouTube, check it out. I know a lot of you guys enjoy watching it on YouTube, but I mean, watching it on Twitter, but we need you guys to come over here so that you could be a part of all of the other different things. Something that I do truly plan on adding to the overall packaging again is getting back involved into the writing aspect of it. So and photography. 2026 we will, 2026 unfortunately we're going to eventually have to replace Jaden. How are we doing on the test? How are we doing on studying right now?
Good. I'm taking it November 8th, so I got 2 weeks left pretty much.
Oh,
So
wow.
been going good. Been going good.
When will we know if is it like one of those things where you take it and they're gonna tell you right then that you passed?
No, it'll probably be like a week, 8 days around there.
But there is no pass or fail. It's just a score, right?
Yeah, the minimum you can get is 120 and the max is 180.
The minimum you can get to go to school, or the minimum like you can get is 120?
You can you can get.
Okay. So that's gonna get you in school. All right, so cool. All right, want to make sure we get you through that. So we do have to, like, Jaden's gonna get that. So we gotta replace him eventually. But there's some really, really good candidates out there that we're gonna probably start bringing into the fold. I'm also getting some good stuff with FAMU's J School, UNF's J School. So we'll get some really good stuff that we can kind of try to build this thing back up. But I say all that, say fifth quarter has one. I found out, I got back into Discord through Miles. Miles be on Discord hanging out hard, man. But and then my son asked me for Discord, I think last year, and he was trying to explain to me what Discord was, and I'm like, son, I know what Discord is. He's like, how do you know what Discord is, old man? I said, brother, I've been on Discord since 2017. Fifth quarter Discord. Anybody who remembers the 50 Cent chat? I'm either going to ramp back up to that or we will build out our own. Either way, Discord does provide basically your own. Basically, what we do on the YouTube chat, you guys will be able to entertain each other all day and have a great time, and we'll build it. We'll talk about Jags. Now that my homegirl Mia O'Brien, shout out to happy birthday, belated birthday to Mia O'Brien as well. With the Jag stuff, and I talked to my brother CJ. I'm gonna talk to George. We're gonna come up and we're gonna do a better FSU coverage pod, and then I'm gonna try to go get some UF people and some other things so we can continue to grow and build this brand and have a good time with alternative media sources, because it gets fun, especially when you could drop news and you could drop stuff. 8 years ago today, I gave Denny the information to drop the hammer to all of all UNF, I mean not UNF, UF supporters. This was the day that we started putting out the information that Jim McElwain would be fired. So when Florida State fans, I just want y'all to understand, when I ask questions like, when has firing a head coach early ever worked? I have been in so many coaches searches, and every time UF does this, they feel like they're getting the right guy. And you know what's happened 8 times? I mean, since in those 8 years, they fired Jim McElwain, hired Dan Mullen. They fired Dan Mullen to hire G5 Billy. They're firing G5 Billy to hire this. And you know what name was in every conversation? Lane Kiffin. Bob Stoops was in one of them. Willie Taggart was in one of them. But they fired these guys, and it never fucking works. So I just want to put that out there, that coaching searches are interesting, but I'm sure we will talk about those things. So before we get started, make sure you jam the like button on this. Make sure you continue to talk into the comments. Make sure you talk about some things that you want to do. Maybe we can have a topic of discussion for the day. I don't know. But also remember, we will be giving away. If you don't want to fucking go, just shut the fuck up and don't say anything. But we will be giving away a pair of tickets on Wednesday to FSU's homecoming. And I'll also be giving away, maybe today, we'll do this today. We'll give away a pair of we'll give away 4 tickets to the Garnet and Gold baseball game. So baseball, we're a baseball school. So if you want to go see the Garnet and Gold baseball game, we're giving away a pair of tickets to that. We'll give that on today's show. So if you want tickets, type in MFTK in the comments, and we will put you in the drawing for at the end of the show. We'll give away 4 tickets to that. Should be kind of cool. Other than that, let's go ahead and because this weekend was interesting, man. It's a lot of stuff's going on. The world is in turmoil, and the only way to get turmoil, to get peace that passeth all understanding, is through our prayer. Let's get that word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You right. You right.
You motherfuckers better thank God.
Thank you, God. No. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Hell yeah. You motherfuckers better thank God. All right, Jada, what we got today?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Big Games B.S. here on Monday, October 27th. So if this is your first time at the show, welcome. And it's called Big Games B.S. because we bring the good, the bad, and the BS of the sports world, especially football, to your screens, eyes, and ears. We're going to start off with our MFTK segment to kick things off, give a quick score recap as well before diving into some college football talk, starting with FSU. Even though we had a bye week this weekend, we still have some news about our school's basketball program. Something historic happened this past weekend we wanted to touch on. And then before we get to the NFL segment, we got the AP polls to discuss and some firings in the college football world, along with some rumors. Then we'll transition to the NFL preview yesterday's slate of games for your Sunday day of football. Then we're going to touch up on some teams and players who made headlines yesterday before breaking down Sunday night football. Then we have our big games BS section. We bring the scope of the conversation outside of the typical football world. And we have our food review BS or busting segment to kick that topic to kick off that segment. OG Wyland segment, and we got some pop culture to discuss for all my rap fans out there. But first things first, I know you mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but got the video right here from your X account of the MFTK showcase.
You got it.
AI is so cool. Blow it up. Like my god brother did this, David, and I thought this shit was real. I don't know how these little nigglets exploded out of the graphic. That's like I don't know how he did it. It was cool. But even though Denny did bring up the fact that the one white kid that was on our team was in the picture and he got cropped out on accident. And it was his son, it was Walker. I was like, my bad, Diddy. Like, you gotta have a white quarterback on your squad. You gotta have one Pilgrim. But nah, it's I'm excited about this. Good little buzz. I know we're gonna do a great job. I just want them to win because I don't like losers, but but they'll win in life. They're gonna learn how to be a pro, how to develop. They're gonna get some good coaches, some good training. Some of the guys on the younger the coaches of the younger teams are all some really good men that I like, and I can't wait to have my son because there's only one person that's guaranteed to make the team. And I've told him all he ain't got to play. If he ain't good enough, don't play him. But he gonna be on the team. I am going to show. I'm gonna have a little bit of daddy ball. Like if I'm paying all these damn bills, best believe the boy with my name is gonna be on that team. Hell, I might put Killer on 10U. Just so he can roll with us, even though I don't think Kai ready to play at that level yet. So, but that's what we're doing. Again, I show you guys these things. I know people I would rather be anonymous with my charity, and there's a lot of things that I do for people that you'll never know. But if I don't broadcast it, what the whole saying, what more can I say? I don't mean to boast, but damn if I don't brag, those non-pilgrims gonna act like I ain't on their ass. So, I gotta do this. So shout out to my jits that's gonna be on the team. Should be great. If you're in Tallahassee, anywhere, like to be honest with you, all you have to do is try to make the showcase, or if you have a kid that wants to play and they even just want to do spot tournaments, just let me know. It's about getting these young men exposure to exposure to the culture. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you they're going to get college coaches looking at them at this age. I'm just going to expose them to some things in sport that's going to help make them better in the long run. So, yeah. Also, Jay, check your messages too. I know once we talk about I know we got to talk about the man. I can't even fix myself to say it's such a good marketing thing that I can't use because I can't. That's another university that's a rivals. They all about the U. I don't want to say that, but I just sent you something, an edit that they made for Mandarin University on Instagram. that I think is pretty cool. That sums up a lot of this stuff. So, but whenever we get ready to do those things, but just so you know.
Perfect timing because we're going to talk about the score recap from this past weekend. So, you can see right there towards the bottom of the picture, Mandarin defeated Oakleaf 31-14 at home at Mandarin. Talk about this game, James, and talk about what went into that 14-31 victory for the Mustangs.
I don't like referees. Earlier last week, Trey had he got honored, AB honor roll, right? I went out there, and to be honest with you, they don't do anything to make you want to be smart for these kids. They don't even reward them with good pizza. They're getting hot and readies. Like Little Caesar hot and readies are probably preparing young women for the way they're going to need to make money if the economy keeps going bad. You got to be hot and ready, and cheap. And I don't want that. Like, my sons win stuff, we give good prizes over here. Like, I believe in a professional mindset. Like, Trey was disappointed in his game that they blew their team out because he didn't get 5 tackles. So he don't get 5 tackles, he don't get 40. He don't get his bonuses. It was a referee, and he said, "You coach in this area, don't you?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, I've refereed one of your games. I refereed the Sandalwood game." Toby's wife was there with me. Rebecca said, "You were you the one who was throwing all those flags on us?" I said, "Beck, chill. You're not helping the situation right now. They already don't like us." But I did tell him, just know this: if you go out there and you ref our game and you do that dumb shit, I know where your daughter goes to school. So you got to threaten these referees, bro. Jaden, if the referees didn't get involved, we would have mercy ruled Oakleaf. And we still didn't play a clean game. But we literally beat the fuck out of Oakleaf. Like, everybody talks about bracketing Bryson the Right, as Kai calls him. And we damn near ran for 300 yards with rushing on him. And both my running backs did good. Now Kyrie scored on defense. He had a pick 6. Their quarterbacks, is me describe before I do this, Jay, is me describing that Miles help me too. Chat help me. Is me describing what the factual events? Is that considered kid bashing? Because I don't want to bash kids. But I do want to tell the truth about the game, if that's okay. Is this a safe space? That's all I need to know, because I get it's hard to do something, and like I don't want to get like, I don't want anybody thinking ill of me. Like, you're gonna hear him talking about kids, but then like the way that parents talk, Okay, all right. So Anthony, and I'm gonna read your comment here after. Anthony says, "No, you're not bashing. You're not bashing the kids. You're being honest how they play." Cool. Oakleaf's quarterback was one of the best players on Mandarin's team. That's not bashing the kid? He threw 2 pick 6s, 3 interceptions. I think they had 4 turnovers. They did something that we love teams to do. You do not want to throw the ball on us. Run. And they got a kid, and there's a young man that I want all of y'all to know about from Oakley. I'm using my platform to tell the truth about this young man. They got a kid over there. I think his name is Fareed Coleman. No relation. I checked. Ain't never been with his mom. I don't know who's his daddy. I just met this kid the other day. He has no offers, and that boy was good. That boy is good. That needs to change. That young man can play ball. He's sudden and explosive. JP, I think that's his name, or KP. They have a corner that's committed to UAB. That's really good. Made a fucking amazing play. Outside of that, it wasn't close. When they scored, Coleman broke a long run. That helped. That's the only 7 points I'll give them, is that. The first touchdown they scored, the referees literally marched them down the field. And the shit's getting out of hand, man. Like, I actually told a referee I hope his wife leaves him. And I told him I hope that I hope all the I don't know, man. Like, I hope his prostate enlarges and he's pissing every 5 minutes and he no longer can referee. Like, that referee, that white hat, like, our guy sacks the quarterback. Number 9, Kendrick Outland. Kendrick does what everybody does when they, like, and the referee, like, he didn't celebrate over the kid. He went past the kid. The white hat said, if they go past me to celebrate, I'm throwing the flag. It had no effect to the game. And except for the fact that you kept them in the game. And referees don't get paid by the hour. They get paid by the game. Let God have his will and let us beat the fuck out of these kids so that we can all have our Friday night. Next time I'm gonna say, I hope your old lady cheating on you. Like, I'm trying to help save lives. But, you know, some of these other scores are ridiculous though. Like, I'm 64-45. That's a basketball score. Terry Parker, shout out to Coach Holloway, beating the shit out of Inglewood. They suck though. I'm trying to think of the other stuff, but like, the game wasn't a game. I mean, it was, we whooped up on them. And the crazy part is everybody said that Mandarin was going to finish third in the district behind Fletcher and Oakleaf. We lost too much. But yeah. And then also, Fletcher's quarterback was better than Knox. Oakleaf's quarterback's been considered better than Knox. Everybody who's considered better than Mandarin's quarterback, like, he gets to play the kid that this week, the kid that they say is the best quarterback in the area. And if we beat this, that's just another person that Knox went head to head with and beat. Can you scroll up a little bit, Miles? Like, Anthony asked a question about about a player in this area, so I want to make sure I answer that. James, who is the top corner in your area that people should be watching out for that is underrated because he plays at all that that's not known for sending talent to the NFL or two of the Power 5? I'll say the best, in my opinion, the best DB not named Brody Jennings or Tamaj Mitchell is Sharif Denson. And Sharif used to go to Sharif went to Reigns, transferred to Mandarin, and then went back to Reigns. Sharif is really, really good. He just doesn't have the size and the measurables that a lot of other guys have, but he is a guy who's actually a really, really good corner. I really believe Reef is really, really nice. Losing Reef, like, if we kept Reef and we kept this kid Cam, and then Red would have stayed and played DB like he's doing at Reigns, DB and wide receiver, we would have the best defense in the state. And we probably would have played a lot better against IMG, but that's just my opinion. But that's that game. They picked us to lose by 4 points. Did you know that, Jaden? Miles, we were supposed to lose to Oakleaf by 4 points. They said Oakleaf was going. Our defense, if you take away IMG, our defense averages 14 points a game. Like, I think maybe 11 points a game. And they were going to be the ones that are going to score 32 on us. That's just sometimes we don't be something. We're not using logic with other stuff, but like, I mean, but God, shout out to News for Jacks. Shout out to Jamal. Shout out to I forgot my guy's name. But it was good. But also Jen, I heard about Gabi beating Lincoln. Shout out to that. I definitely didn't see that one coming. And I think Lincoln plays Rickards this week. So, and I think Rickards beat Lincoln last year for like the first time. Anthony said, have you guys faced anybody out of Miami, like Northwestern, Central, or out of Orlando? Either Joe. We play. We have played. We've played Orlando teams. Like we beat Seminole, Lake Mary, all of those different teams. We didn't play anybody this year, but next year, make sure you check out Mandarin's schedule. It'll be a little spicy. But we'll play Shaman. I think we're going Chaminade week 1, if I remember correctly. That's one of the best schools in the nation. So we got to make sure we get on our P's and Q's and continue to be Mandarin University. But speaking of Mandarin University, let's roll a nice little highlight made by Grant Visuals. And you can play the music on that. We'll mute it. We'll mute the music later if we need to.
What I would do if I didn't win.
You picked them.
Y'all said we was gonna lose by 4. Just want y'all to know that.
I picked Oakland to win.
Or pick to lose. That didn't make any sense.
I guess we'll never know.
For those who are wondering why everybody was tossing up 4s, it wasn't because they picked us to lose by 4. Toby Bullock is in his 4th year as the head coach, and that's his 4th straight district championship. Gary West, Mandarin, we play Lowndes in the summertime. We went over like one of the most well-run padded scrimmages that I've ever been to. Lowndes plays really, really good football like that. James, are you one of the few teams in Florida that still runs a triple option? Or are you guys West Coast or you spread air raid? We are a multiple formation, more of a we're 11 personnel and we're 50-50 run pass. We are literally RPO. We're true RPO. Most of our plays. It is hard to if we're cooking, it is hard to scheme against us. But yeah, King David, we will be streaming all of the games for the rest of the year, and we will be also streaming the we'll stream all the games next year as well as a few bowls lacrosse games. So tune in to Den Media Group. The stuff with the recruit didn't work out. Great app. Wish nothing for the best for them. I don't think they realized what they had, and they're moving on. And good for them. Do their thing. But as with most of the business ventures that I've ever been a part of, like people force me to do shit that I don't want to do. So it happens.
Let's talk about some FSU now that we got our MFTK segment out of the way. So we have some news from offensive guard Richie Leonard IV on his Instagram with the very fitting partnership. So let's blow this up. FSU guard Richie Leonard said on Instagram, quote, "Blessed and excited to announce my new role as VP of Pancake Partnerships at Cracker Barrel. They're paying me to eat pancakes, and I couldn't be more grateful. And Richie has yet to allow a sack this year. So he's officially joining Old Pancake and free pancakes when you dine in and wear your jersey in Pancake Blocktober. So shout out to the partnership and keep getting that paper for real, for real. Shout out to Richie Leonard as well. Shout out to Richie Leonard.
Love that for Richie. Pop's a big listener to the show. You know, I forgive him for the dark days when he was not when he wasn't saved. You know, when he was at the University of Florida. Now that he's over here, good stuff, get paid. I'm not gonna wear a jersey to Cracker Barrel to get free pancakes, but those do sound mighty tasty. Like I do like a Cracker Barrel. I do like them cracker pancakes.
Yesterday was a great day for FSU in multiple reasons because we got the W against FAMU in an exhibition matchup, 54 to 88, a 34-point spread for the Seminoles at home. But before the game, Charlie Ward got his basketball jersey retired. So Barstool FSU put, congratulations to Charlie Ward on becoming the first Seminole to have their jersey retired in two respective sports, football, and now the legend has got his basketball jersey retired in the tuck. So shout out to Charlie Ward. Even though after the retirement he did get a 34-point beat down, man, he still got the chance to get his jersey retired. So shout out to Charlie Ward. And most importantly, shout out to the Laux era for starting off this season right with our first year head coach here at FSU. So just wanted to update you guys on this basketball as we had a bye week this weekend. So
The whole city was out of that thing. It looked like, man, it was good. $10 admission, man. Go support those teams, man. Like, go support FSU basketball and my Pilgrims. Go over there and support FAMU. It's safe though. You're gonna be okay. They're gonna love on you. They're gonna talk. They're gonna pick on you a little bit, but we pick on everybody. Going over there and support Charlie. Like those two guys could be big for the city. If everything continues to go the way it should go.
now we are at one of the most pivotal continuation subtopics in the show, the AP polls. So, yes, it's already week 10, and the AP polls for week 10 have dropped courtesy of On3 on X. So, let's share this with you all and let's break down the polls. So, you can see from the first six teams, none of them have moved. So we're going to skip them and move on to number 7, Ole Miss. Ole Miss bumped up one spot in the AP polls with their 34 to 26 victory over Alabama. And then Georgia Tech, the only undefeated ACC team, drops one spot to number 8, even though they did win their game against Syracuse 16 to 41. Vanderbilt is up one spot as well, defeating the previously ranked 15 ranked Missouri 17 to 10 at home. And then you have BYU and Miami. They are tied. I had to double check this, make sure I wasn't seeing things. But yes, BYU and Miami are both ranked 10. So BYU is jumped one spot from 11 to 10, and they are 8-0. Miami dropped one spot, 6-1. So Miami dropped one spot down, and they have a record of 6-1. So BYU recently beat Iowa State 41 to 27, while Miami beat Stanford 42 to 7 as well. So then you have Notre Dame coming in at 12, stayed the same. Texas Tech bumped up one spot. Tennessee bumped up 3 spots. Virginia bumped up one spot to 15. Louisville bumped up 3 spots to 16. Cincy bumped up 4 spots to 17. Oklahoma dropped 5 spots with their loss 2. Ole Miss, Missouri dropped 4 spots with their loss 2. Vanderbilt and Texas jumped up 2 spots as well, since they did defeat Mississippi State in an overtime matchup. Michigan bumped up 4 spots, and Houston, USC, Utah, and Memphis were not previously ranked in last week's AP poll. Now they're at the bottom portion of the AP polls. And I don't know if anybody watched that Colorado Utah game, but 40-0 at halftime. That was not a good game for Dion and the Colorado Buffaloes. But we have a lot of news to discuss, and most importantly, we're going to go to that number 3 team, with that being Texas A&M, because man, they put the pause on LSU so bad the Tigers had to scratch out their head coach. And if you guys are not aware of what or who I'm talking about, oh, don't worry, because LSU has officially fired their head coach, Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly has been released from his position at LSU. So let's take a look at some of the details associated with his contract and his buyout situation. So, with Brian Kelly's firing yesterday, he has a buyout of around $53 million. So, that is the second most expensive buyout in college football history, in college sports history, excuse me, behind the 77 million Texas A&M buyout for FSU former head coach, Texas A&M former head coach Jimbo Fisher in 2023. So, according to Front Office Sports, with the recent reported firing of Brian Kelly, college football teams are on the hook for over $169 million in buyouts so far this season, with Brian Kelly looking to.
But NIL is ruining college football, and we can't pay players because, like, this is the shit that just baffles me, man. Like, the fuck, man. Like, I think that if I'm signing a school, we might fire you, but your punk ass is working through the season, dog. Like, where's the downside in any of this? This is a retirement plan. Now they get to enjoy, check out the good Black Friday deals, spend time with the family. No, I want you miserable like me working. This isn't right.
So with Brian Kelly's firing, he is at the top of that list this season for the buyout amount, since he's second all time, first for this year with his $53 million buyout. James Franklin comes in at number 2, shortly behind Brian Kelly with his $49.7 million buyout. Billy Napier comes in third from Florida with his $21.2 million buyout. Then you got Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State, Sam Pittman, Arkansas, Deshaun Foster, UCLA, Brent Pry, Trent Bray, Trent Dilfer, and Jay Norvell rounding out this list with his $1.5 million college football buyout. So I know you just recently, James, talked about the NIL landscape when it comes to these coaches and ultimately with the players, because a lot of the talking heads in media always like to put the blame on the players, on the transfer portal for the players, for the lack of quote unquote competition hunger in college football. But I just want to reiterate, with these head coaches right now this season, they have already accumulated $169 million in their buyouts alone. And this doesn't even include the buyouts associated with some of the staff members as well. So this is just a minimum estimate, if you will. So James, what can we expect as college football progresses on? Will we see these buyouts go from 200 million one season, 250 million another season? What can college football fans be expected to prepare as the NIL landscape grows and as these buyouts are certainly going to keep growing?
What to expect or what should be done? Attitude reflects leadership. Stop talking about putting fucking NIL caps on athletes and there's no caps on coaches. I will fight for you if we put a cap on NIL the minute you put a cap on what coaches can get paid. Coaches can't get paid more than $5 million a year. You do that, I'm all for. Call me Cappuccino. I'll be that much cap. Cap and gown. Cap America. But the thing is like you can't tell me to not. Why do I have to not participate in capitalism? This is bad contract. And the fact that they've always been fully guaranteed. Here's what you do. Here's how you change the landscape. I don't know if you remember, Miles, when me and Greg first started doing the Greg McGarity, every week we do the game. We gotta start putting them up, Miles. Oh, okay. Me and Greg McGarity do Gator Bowl, the weekly Gator Bowl update. And Greg talked to me about when he restructured Mark Richt's contract. He got Mark out of his original contract, and it paid him less guaranteed money. But he could have tripled his money if he hit the standards. Win your division, win conference, win a certain amount of games. Go like basically made it truly, purely incentive based. Drop him down to $5 million and give him the opportunity to make 15. If you win a natty. Maybe even add more years. And then if they've done, like, you can increase the incentives as they reach them. But right now, there is zero incentive once you sign these big contracts. The things that you're accusing the student athletes of, the fucking adults are doing. Like, where is I'll show you, I'm going to fire you and still pay you $10 million a year. Actually, worse, I'll show you, I'm going to fire you and pay and be mandated that I pay you the entirety of the contract in 90 days in some cases. So you can get paid by me and then go do the same shit over again somewhere else. You blaming the kids for following the example that the adults are showing. Never mind the fact that they can leave whenever they want to leave. But now that they're being fired, and now you expect, I didn't get recruited. Like, guys, I want you to understand, if it was about academics, Harvard and Yale would still be winning national championships. It's not about academics. It's about playing ball for a coach, and even more so now than it was when I was, because people fought for their rights. It's the American way. If Bobby would have been fired, I probably would have bounced when I was playing. I grew up on FAM's campus. I didn't go to an FSU game until I became a recruit. My Florida State degree gets me absolutely nothing. The only thing I can do with my degree is win Jeopardy. It gives you guys useless history facts and historical context as a history major. I minored in econ and psychology, but only because I took like 9 credit hours. Like, so I could. It just makes me look smarter. I don't really know much about econ. Don't know much about psychology that much. But I do know this, being a fire head coach seems like the way to go. That's generational wealth. Y'all mad at the kid that may make $100,000, but not irate at the guy who gets to work for free doing this shit.
Shout out to all the Den Media members in the chat, keeping us updated with former FSU faculty. So with Brian Kelly's firing, they also fired offensive coordinator Joe Sloan. So Alex Atkins will take over play calling duties for the Final Four games for the LSU Tigers. LSU not in the top 25 anymore with their horrible loss at home in Death Valley to Texas A&M, the third-ranked Texas A&M, if you will. So just wanted to keep you guys updated on who's going to be calling the plays at LSU for the final 4 games this season. And I will tell you who LSU has on the schedule in these final games right quick. Just pulling up their schedule right now. So LSU's final 4 games this season are against 4th-ranked Alabama next week, Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and then finishing out this season against current 18th-ranked Oklahoma. So looks like
can I shoot my shot on some more college football landscape things? just put this out here. Look at USC. Look at Alabama. Those jobs might open up. Texas might open up. It's going to be a crazy world. It's going to be a crazy. Jimmy Sexton is just getting involved. Like he ain't done yet. He warming up.
You mentioned the Texas coaching job, but James, Sark has responded and addressed these rumors. So Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian's agents, Jimmy Sexton and Ed Marinowitz, released this statement on behalf of Sarkisian, denying communication with NFL teams. This is per Tom Pelissero, who is a reporter for the NFL Network. Quote, any reports regarding communications on coaching opportunities of NFL teams are patently false and widely inaccurate. Sark, aka Steve Sarkisian, is solely focused on coaching the University of Texas football team. So, James, I guess you are saying that this is a whole bunch of CAP for Jimmy Sexton and on behalf of Steve Sarkisian.
Yes. Like, he wasn't leaving Alabama to go to Texas until it happened. You are where you are. I'm where my feet are. Until you're not. And you're saying this because you still got to coach the rest of the season. It's his agent's job to kick the tires and get him paid more money. That's why Jimmy Sexton is incredibly effective at his job. Again, I admire Jimmy Sexton so much. He does all of this raw dogging boiled hot dogs with no condiments. That's just what makes this more impressive. He's not doing these over fancy steak dinners. He's going up to your press box. He's going to his press box and he's raw dogging boiled hot dogs and signing and controlling college football. I believe this as much as I believe. I mean, it doesn't mean he's leaving. I'm just going by what I've heard. But I believe this just as much as I believe Sark ain't sipping no more. And I've been around Sark. You smell a little bit. You smell like that. It smell like that yak. So, hey, it is what it is. But I'll tell you this. Those leaks, knowing the world now the way I know, Sark going to the NFL was a very specific leak. And those kind of leaks only get leaked when they want it to get leaked. When they don't want you to know anything, guess what? You'll know nothing. That's all I'm saying. Whoa, Jen making the chat spicy. You see her? She wilding. Jen wilding. Jen says she want a raw dog glizzy. Is it 10? Damn, Jen. I'm gonna tell you this. He also is locked into a contract with Arch Manning, and he didn't listen. If he listened to Big Games BS, he would not have made this decision. I told y'all that boy was ass. It's a reason why Arch was the only Manning that didn't do shit. Like, just because your last name Manning don't mean you can throw. That boy out there got that man contemplating life. And he got a new baby. He got to deal with L'Oreal. Crazy ass. And, they was separated. Then they got back together. And then what happens when everybody separates and gets back together? A baby comes out. It's a wild world we live in, man. But, if he stays, it doesn't bother me. But I do know he doesn't like his quarterback situation. And I do know the NFL is one of those things, once you get in there, you never leave. Or you don't have to leave if you don't want to.
These are the scores from college football this past weekend. So Indiana, man, they have been on the roll. They are 8-0 and 5-0 in conference play. They beat UCLA by 50 points at home. Texas A&M put BTA against the Tigers in Death Valley Stadium and a night game as well. So that's let you know how discombobulated that LSU program is as of late. And man, I was mad watching this Alabama South Carolina game. That fumble Lenore Sellers had resulted in Alabama up in the score and winning this game at South Carolina as well, retaining that number 4 rank in the AP top 25 poll. Oregon did their thing against Wisconsin. Georgia Tech, the lone undefeated ACC team, defeated the Syracuse Orange without their starting quarterback as well.
Damn, my dog stank. He ain't gonna be able to take a bath the rest of the season, man.
Ole Miss defeated Oklahoma at Oklahoma 34-26, an 8-point spread for Lane Kiffin. And Lane Kiffin was seen at the end of the game saying that he is here to stay. He is not going anywhere. So we'll see how true Lane Kiffin keeps that sentiment that he gave to the fans after the victory. So, even though Stanford was leading Miami 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, Miami scored 42 straight points and ended that run on Stanford's offense after the first quarter, winning 42-7. Diego Pavia led Vanderbilt to another ranked victory against Missouri, 10-17. And it looks like Theo Vaughn is cracking his mom, but that's a whole nother story. If you know, you know. BYU defeated Iowa State 41-27. Texas Tech shutting out OK State 42-0. Virginia barely beating Bill Belichick's UNC, winning by 1 point, 17-16 in overtime. Man, I guess you can call this a shootout, but Tennessee defeated Kentucky 56-34, a high-scoring game in the SEC. South Florida lost to Memphis by 3 points, resulting in Memphis getting that 25 rank. Louisville beat Boston College by 14. Cincy beat Baylor by 21. Texas barely pulled it out against Mississippi State, winning 45-38 in overtime. Washington defeated Illinois, the previously 23rd ranked team, 42-25. Kenny, aka Kenny Dillingham, lost 16-24 against Houston, man, and resulting in Arizona State not being ranked. Michigan ended up beating their rival 31-20. Nebraska ended up beating Northwestern by 7. Purdue lost by 3 to Rutgers. Wake Forest won by 1 against SMU. And we're going to scroll down to some more games. And for any of my ACC fans, Pittsburgh beat NC State 53-34. Navy is still undefeated, beating FAU 42-32 as well. But for any of my Dion fans out there, if you guys
Got
stayed up.
soaked. Actually, nah. What they say what is the Mormon thing where they put it in and they don't move, but they have their homies move the bed so they get the little friction?
It's
so they
okay.
can say that they're not doing it. That's Dion. Dion love, boy. Dion be getting ran through by some Mormons, man. Didn't BYU whoop their ass too in the ball game?
I think when they played the bowl game last year, that was against
Or was it the Big 12 championship that BYU? All I know is stay out of Utah, boy. Utah be running through them.
But yeah, Colorado lost to Utah 53-7, and by halftime it was 43-0. So I wish there was a mercy rule for halftime in college because man, that was just painful to watch for anybody out there. So
man, Dion chasing young hoes with 3 toes, and like, bro, just live your life, dog. We get it, Dion. This is me. This coming from me, dog. I don't particularly care for you as a person, but I want you to be I want you to be happy, man. You've lived a good life. You've been a good dad. Just ride off into sunset, my guy.
Now that we gave a recap of the college football landscape, we'll definitely be keeping you guys updated on these hot seats for the many vacant head coaching positions out there in the college football landscape, man. We showed you the list of the buyouts from Colorado State to Oklahoma State to UAB. You got the bigger schools like Penn State, LSU. Who's going to be next on this list since we are still in the middle of the college football 2025-2026 season? So we'll keep you guys updated on the ins and outs, ups and downs, and changes with head coaches and programs as well. So let's get into the Sunday scores for week 8 in the NFL. This infographic courtesy of Fox Sports NFL. Miami got their second win of the season. Michael Penix was hurt. Kirk Cousins was the starter for this game, and man, he had a bad one. So Miami won 34-10. The Colts, best team in football, still defeating the Tennessee Titans in a rivalry game, a division rivalry game, 38-14. Bo Nix and company defeated the Cowboys 44-24. Another rivalry game, but this time in the NFC South between the Bucks and the Saints, resulting in a 23-3 victory for the Bucks. Many were surprised that the Ravens defeated the Bears with Lamar Jackson out as quarterback, and they defeated the Bears by 14 points, 30-9. Buffalo ran through the Panthers 40-9. Drake May and the Patriots looking well, 32-13 victory over the Browns. The Jets got their first win of the 2025 season against the Joe Flacco-led Bengals, 39-38. Texans defeating Mac Jones and company 26-15. Then in your last division rivalry game in this NFC East division rivalry matchup between the Eagles and the Giants. Giants lost by 18, and we have some very sad news from this game. And Aaron Rodgers did not get a chance to become part of the historic four-man trio of the 4 QBs who defeated all 32 teams. Aaron Rodgers was hoping to defeat all 32 NFL teams in his career with his matchup against his former team, the Green Bay Packers. But we're going to spin back into that topic once we get to breaking down the Sunday night football game. But let's start off with the home team. Even though the Jacksonville Jaguars had a bye week this week, we are going to be in Las Vegas next week playing in Allegiant Stadium. But James, Diana Rossini of The Athletic had a report that many people were shocked, were left in consternation with, because, drumroll please, the Jaguars are listening to calls on wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. Even if a move feels highly unlikely, they're also shopping for defense, James. So I know you cover the Jags, James. I know you probably know more than the average Jags fan, Jags NFL fan base. So what can you make of this report by Diana? And can you see teams actually moving on from BTJ if these, let's just say, behavior in his game keeps persisting?
This was a thing of what the Jags need to make moves. We know the Jags want to make moves. How can I write something that's going to generate clicks that won't be out of the realm of possibility? If they trade everybody who's real knows that if you trade Brian Thomas Jr., a guy who was a Pro Bowl guy when Mac Jones was throwing to him, you're going to see a young man flourish after he gets out of the oppressive regime that consistently forces him to be abused. He would do good when he gets to a quarterback that doesn't throw everybody into the infirmary. That further lets me know, because if that was the case, he would have been gone. They know what the real issue is. They may not tell you that because they don't want to bash their guy. And I believe in Trevor, but they're not getting rid of BTJ. So get that out of your head.
The Jaguars did have a bye week this weekend, and with this post circulated, many have said that the Jaguars found some way to lost the bye weekend too. So, man, hopefully the Jags will not trade BTJ. I do think there is still a lot of untapped potential. Last year, he was one of 4 rookies to have 1,000 wide receiving yards, so he definitely can put that ball into the field, rake them numbers up, get those yards. So hopefully he will continue to be a Jacksonville Jaguar. So want to keep you guys updated on the home team with all the buzz surrounding the squad. And who I know that made its way through the headlines
Comments.
this weekend. So speaking of headlines, man, this AFC South is looking pretty rough with the Colts being the number 1 team in the National Football League. So let's dive into the Colts, but more specifically, let's dive into one specific player, and that is Jonathan Taylor. So let's take a look at Jonathan Taylor's game logs for this
It's
season.
scary.
He is the best running back in the National Football League on the best team in the National Football League. So, week 1, 21 touches, 98 yards, 27 touches, 215 yards, 1 reception touchdown, 20 touches, 118 yards, 3 rush touchdowns, 22 touches, 96 yards, 20 touches, 86 yards, 3 rush touchdowns, 25 touches, 137 yards, 1 rush touchdown, 19 touches, 132 yards, 3 rush touchdowns. In week 8 against the Titans, he had 14 touches, 174 yards, and then he also had 2 rush touchdown, 1 reception touchdown as well. So Jonathan Taylor has been doing his thing out there for the Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts did beat the AFC division rival Tennessee Titans 38-14 at home at Indianapolis. So Jonathan Taylor has been doing his thing. And let's look at this post according to Adam Schefter. So Adam Schefter said JT is now the 5th player since 2000 with at least 3 scrimmage touchdowns in 4 games in a season, including LaDainian Tomlinson, 2006, Marshall Faulk in 2000, Sean Alexander in 05, and Priest Holmes in 02 and 03. Taylor is the 6th player in NFL history with at least 70 scrimmage touchdowns in his first 75 career games, joining Jim Brown, Tomlinson, Emmitt Smith, Chuck Foreman, and Todd Gurley. So he's solidifying his name with the greatest of the greats, and he is definitely putting out a clinic out there, courtesy of Next Gen Stats. Here is his carry chart against the Tennessee Titans. So Jonathan Taylor forced 8 missed tackles on his carries against the Titans and gained 131 extra yards, the most by any rusher in a game since Week 10, 2020. This season, Taylor's 366 rushing yards off missed tackles are 124 more than any other player. Man, that's an insane stat right there. I'm just going to read that again. So Taylor has 366 rushing yards off missed tackles this season, and that's 124 more than any other player. So you can see right here, 12 carries, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You can see the green lines represent 5+ yards gains and a touchdown. You can see the touchdowns represented by the blue circles, and 0 to 5 yards gain is that yellow line, and a tackle for loss is that red line. It looks like he only got 1 tackle for loss in the last game, but man, he had a great game and continuing to put the Colts on the map. So sucks to see the Colts doing good since we are division rivals with them, but man, gotta respect greatness. And Jonathan Taylor has been balling. Scary for when the Jags got to put the Colts later on in the year. So we're gonna keep
Chris
you guys.
had me talking about them yesterday on Sports Final, and like, shoot, bro. Woo! Yee. They are nice. Like again, it just goes back to like what I talk about with Infirmary Squad. Everybody gets mad, but like, what is the one player that everybody has compared Trevor to? Daniel Jones. He goes to Indianapolis and he's like balling. It's like, that's why I'm mad. Like, it's in there. He could be good. He just has to want to be good. You have to know you stink in order to take a bath sometimes. Like, and I don't think he knows he stinks. And I think everybody's like, it's okay. Like, I mean, more people are. I think people are being too critical of him at times. But yeah, yeah. But like, I think he's good. I just think he's not playing good.
Tua and company, aka the Miami Dolphins, beat up on the elderly yesterday with their 34-10 victory over the Falcons, which was led by Kirk Cousins. Michael Penix is dealing with the injury, did not play in this game. Kirk Cousins went 21-31, 173 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Got sacked once, lost 5 yards, had a QBR of 35.5 and a quarterback rating of 81.8. So what does that mean, everybody? Trash. He did not play good this game, but Tua went 20-26, had 205 yards and 4 touchdowns. He actually got a passing chart for the his game performance, James, courtesy of Next Gen Stats. So Tua completed 14 of 17 passes under 2.5 seconds for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Falcons. His 2.37 second average time to throw was his quickest of 2025, and his 3.7 air yards per attempt was his fewest since week 12, 2021. So Tua got the ball out very quickly per usual. But this game was his quickest of the year so far. So he's been on track with his quick throws, but this past game, he was really getting the ball out fast. And it resulted in a W against the Falcons, 34-10. So who caught his 4 receiving touchdowns? Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Devon Achane, and Ollie Gordon the second. So shout out to the Dolphins for getting their second victory of the season. So we're going to keep on keeping on with these quarterbacks, especially because we're going to talk about another passing chart right here, courtesy of Next Gen Stats, and that is Bo Nix. Bo Nix ended up defeating the Cowboys 44-24, a 20-point spread at home against America's team. And Bo Nix did his thing. So he completed 19 of his 29 pass attempts for 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception against the Cowboys. His 11.7 air yards per attempt is the second highest mark of his career. And Nix completed 7 of 13 attempts, over 10 air yards for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns as well. So Troy Franklin had 2 receiving touchdowns. Pat Bryant had a receiving touchdown. And R.J. Harvey, the former UCF running back, had a receiving touchdown as well. And James, R.J. Harvey had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. He had 7 carries for 46 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, even though J.K. Dobbins led the squad in rushing with 15 carries for 111 yards. But R.J. Harvey had 3 touchdowns yesterday, and you see from the passing chart right here, Bo Nix was spreading it out on the field. So, man, Cowboys had a 20-point loss yesterday. Can never be a good feeling associated with that. And speaking of not having a good feeling, the Browns lost 13-32 against the Patriots yesterday, while the Patriots played at home at Foxborough. So yesterday, something historic happened during the game, courtesy of Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett has the most sacks all time before the age of 30. So
Boy, put up
My-
video game numbers, man.
Myles Garrett has 110.5 career sacks, the most sacks all time before the age of 30. And last game against the Patriots, he accumulated 5 sacks. He got 6 total tackles, 6 of them were solo, 5 sacks, 5 tackle for losses, and 5 QB hits. And he is now in the record books once again. But at the end of the game, he was seen visibly frustrated, slamming the helmet down. But hey, you took that contract, man. So I don't see no.
Hey, it
Took that
proved
contract.
Gilbert Arenas on like early in his podcast. Like he was on what's the girl's name? Her husband played corner for the Dolphins. She was going crazy. She got arrested like right outside of Dolphin Stadium. She wild. She always got some wild shit that she always talking about, right? But and then the other stupid basketball player that talks better than what he really was. I think he went to North Carolina. They were talking about Miko, thank you. They were talking about would you trade, like they asked Gil, like, would you trade, your big money for a ring? And he was like, what? No, fuck no. And they were like, come on now. If you could make $20 million and win a championship, would you? And he was like, I can go buy an NBA championship ring. He's like, I can go buy that right now. But he's like, you know what they can't buy? $100 million. Like, so he's like that money gonna make you feel real good at a certain point, man. Only people 10 to 20% of them have fiscal security secure fiscal security for their family for life. There are role players, and then there are the marquee guys. If I could get an opportunity to make money, the reason why you do this is to change your family situation. If I won't remember my name when I'm 65, 70, I hope to have done so that my kids are good. If I did it for rings that do not pay bills, I'm sorry. It makes absolutely no sense. Trying to think of somebody right now. The number 4 wide receiver, the number 4 wide receiver for the Patriots, when they won in, what was that, in 2004? Yeah, 2004. So, Miles, do you remember who the? Actually, I'll say this, Miles. Do you know who won the Super Bowl MVP? Again, when the Giants played the Patriots, not MVP, excuse me. Who made the big catch that helped them win? Do you remember that guy's name? Tyreek. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I know he wrote a children's book. That's my point. It's cool. Like, it's cool. And the crazy part is unless you're a narcissist that's really living on, I don't know where my championship rings are. There we go. Good shot, David. David looked that shit up. He didn't know that off the top of his head. He Googled it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with using Google. But I know you didn't know. No, you didn't care. Nobody cares. Nobody bought this fucking children's book. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's a team game. People barely, in 10 years, nobody would know who Deion Branch is, except for those of us sickos who were there.
And he's put in more work on both positions than he's more of what Travis Hunter is supposed to be. maybe what Travis Hunter will be in the future. Hopefully, better with his athletic talents. But he actually played both roles.
Real quick, this one should be easier, but real quick, who is the starting point guard for the Chicago Bulls in the first 3 championships? This is the easier one, but just want everybody just use your thumbs now. Who was the starting point guard? He was a first round draft pick too. His name was B.J. Armstrong.
I did not know.
B.J. Armstrong was really good. But B.J. Armstrong don't have life-changing money. You know who has life-changing money? Miguel Jordan. Scottie Pippen. Hell, a lot of people forget Horace Grant was on those first 3 and only remember Dennis Rodman when you talk about power forward play for the Bulls because he was on the second 3. Didn't even know that Rodman had 2 rings before he even came to the Bulls because he was on the Bad Boys with the Pistons. All I'm saying is it's cool to win rings. But you know what's cooler? Money. Money.
The New York Jets won their first game of the season against the Bengals yesterday, winning 39 to 38
I call that.
in this matchup against the Joe Flacco led Cincinnati Bengals at Cincinnati, actually. So let's take a look at some of the details around this game. Going into the fourth quarter, the Bengals led 16 to 31. And then the Jets slowly found their way back into the game, resulting in that 39 to 38 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. And so let's take a look at some of the important information in this game. Justin Fields went 21 of 32 yesterday in the game, and he had 244 passing yards and 1 touchdown as well. So yesterday was National Tight Ends Day, and the rookie tight end Mason Taylor had the touchdown, which resulted in the Jets actually getting the lead in this game. Touchdown courtesy of Breece Hall. Breece Hall threw the touchdown pass to Mason Taylor to get the score of 39 to 38. And Breece Hall also had 18 carries for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. Tyler Johnson caught the other receiving touchdown for the New York Jets. Jamar Chase didn't have a receiving touchdown, but he had 12 receptions for 91 yards. T. Higgins had 1 reception for 44 yards, and this was a touchdown. I don't know if you saw that play, James, but that was against our boy, AZ. That's when he got scored on. But hey, gotta get got sometimes. That's
Everybody get got.
part of the learning curve. But T. Higgins had that touchdown, and Chase Brown, the running back, scored a receiving touchdown as well. Samaje Perine, Chase Brown, and Joe Flacco all had rushing touchdowns. Yes, you heard that correctly. Joe Flacco had a rushing touchdown. He had 2 carries for 14 yards. But even though we talked about a low light of AZ was getting some good bump out there. 6 total tackles, 4 of them were solo, and 1 pass defended. Even though he did get scored on by T. Higgins, he had a great game nonetheless. Got on the field, got there, and was making plays and tackling. So shout out to AZ. Keep on keeping on. But the Jets have their first win this season under first-year head coach Aaron Glenn. So hopefully they're looking to turn their season around with this victory. But shout out to the Jets for getting that first win this season. I know that felt really, really good to get that first win. And we're going to talk about a division matchup right here between the Giants and the Eagles. The Eagles beat the Giants 38 to 20 at home at Philadelphia. But James, our boy, is gone. So Cam Scatterboo had an injury during this game. He was ruled out with an ankle injury, and according to Ian Rappaport, Cam Scatterbo is scheduled to undergo surgery at a hospital in the Philadelphia area. This post was made yesterday. So Cam Scatterbo was out of the game. The whole energy was off for the Giants team. You can tell the Giants players definitely rock with Cam Scatterbo, the energy he brings, the passion he brings. So it sucked to see that life get sucked out of the team like that. But
You
man,
need a radio. Everybody needs a radio. Like not an actual again, that doesn't make it better. But not an actual radio, but like radio. You need a guy with special needs, specially abled, an IEP, if you will. Skeeter B is definitely one of those those guys who you got to look out for, man. Like the brain, his eggs are scrambled. Like anybody who just randomly screams is all right with me. But I that's tough, man. That's a tough one.
so Malik Neighbors is out for the Giants, and Cam Scatterbo is out for the Giants as well. Two of their key 2025 draft picks this season. And before Cam Scatterbo actually got hurt, he had a touchdown in the game. He had a 1 reception, 18-yard touchdown in the game versus the Eagles. But Jalen Hurts had 4 passing touchdowns. He went 15 of 20 for 179 yards. AJ Brown was not playing in this game. And with this homecoming game from Saquon Barkley, you know he had to get a touchdown. Facing off against his former team, Saquon had 14 carries for 150 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. He also had 4 receptions for 24 yards and a receiving touchdown in this game. Devontae Smith led the game in receiving yards, but Dallas Goedert had 2 receiving touchdowns and Jahan Dotson had 1 receiving touchdown as well. But man, James, Tank Bigsby was looking like a crucial piece for this Philadelphia team. He had 9 carries for 104 yards, averaging 11.6 yards a carry for the Eagles. And yeah, it hurt to kind of read that. But
And this is why I hate our media. I know y'all, when I say that, I'm normally talking about FSU, but I do hate our media. But Jaguar fans are you guys really watch this love and hip hop shit, and y'all really think this is real life. And I can tell some people have never experienced, like you've never experienced loss in a relationship. And sometimes you lose, right? Like they come in your life and you don't know what happened. Maybe you fucked up. Maybe you thought you had something better, right? And she leaves you. She goes somewhere else. You don't have to wish ill on her. Tank Bigsby gets traded to the Eagles. Man, they looking at practice clips. Like he fumbled like a kickoff or something. Like just like, see, that's why Jalen Ramsey leaves. I hope Jalen's never successful in life. That's why you got burnt. Like, bro, he glowed up. He glowed up. And he did whatever like the purpose was. I'm like, he's going to be fine. And by golly jeepers, he got active. And you know what's probably going to happen? What happens with every other pretty decently good Jaguar player that leaves? They win a fucking Super Bowl. Yeah. Like, it's what happens. Like, like it's business. If you look at life as a series of business transactions, it really will change your perspective on a lot of things. If it ain't hurting you, flourish, queen. You know what season? Because at the end of the day, it's the same in NFL and it's the same in life. I've said this numerous times. Me and my little brother, CJ Wilson, we talk about this a lot. You know what season it always is? It is always get your girl back season. And if he flourishes with the Eagles, we'll get Tank back. Or if you don't think you can get her back, then shit. Dance with the lady you bring, no matter how she looks. Can't ditch her for the prom queen. So just, but I'm happy for Tank. Shit. He was the real running back. And we thought we had him replaced. We did what some men do. Like, we thought we had him replaced with a younger broad. And then found out that she's under 30 and she doesn't know how to use a vagina yet. So, like, now you over here got to learn somebody some shit. Like, I think the running back that we got is pretty good. The young man from HBCU in Virginia Tech. Can't think of his name right now off the top of my head, but he's going to be fine. He's just not Tank right now. Maybe in the long run, it works out better for us.
Those running backs are Basul Tutton and LaQuint Allen.
Yeah.
Basul went to
Basul's plays like Basura sometimes. But like he's getting better though.
Just wanted to update you guys on a former Jaguar who had a really good game against a really good defense yesterday in the New York Giants defense. So we're going to move on with this NFL topic for you guys, and we're going to discuss the Sunday night football matchup between the Green Bay Packers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I mentioned this earlier in the show, but I just wanted to reiterate this. So if Aaron Rodgers had won this game against his former team, he would have been the 5th quarterback to beat all 32 teams in the NFL. So who's the 4 quarterbacks currently on this list? They are Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Brett Favre, and Peyton Manning. So there are currently 4 active QBs who have beaten 31 teams. Those are Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't beaten the Packers, Patrick Mahomes, who hasn't beaten the Chiefs, Matthew Stafford, he never beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Russell Wilson, he never beat the Seattle Seahawks. So Aaron Rodgers looks like he did not make this list, and his successor said, "Not on my watch." Jordan Love said, "You're not doing this to me, Unk." And this resulted in a 35-25 victory for the Green Bay Packers in an away game, might I add. So let's get into the box score and team stats of this Sunday night football matchup. So let me share this with you guys right here, and let's get into the game. Jordan Love went 29 of 37, and he had 360 yards, averaging 9.7 yards per completion. He only had 8 incompletions, and he had 3 touchdowns in the game, a QBR of 89.1, and a quarterback rating of 134.2. Josh Jacobs had a rushing touchdown. He had 13 carries for 33 yards. And Tucker Kraft went off
Might want to guard that guy.
Like I previously mentioned, it was National Tight Ends Day, and the tight ends definitely showed out, him being at the forefront of that movement. He had 7 receptions, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns, averaging 20.4 yards per reception. Savion Williams had the other receiving touchdown in this game, if you will. So on the Pittsburgh offense side, Aaron Rodgers went 24-36 for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. He got sacked 3 times. However, Roman Wilson caught a receiving touchdown, and DK Metcalf caught a receiving touchdown as well. 5 receptions for 55 yards for DK Metcalf. And the former Michigan receiver Wilson led the Steelers in receiving with 74 yards as well. So TJ Watt had 6 total tackles. He was 3rd on his team behind Cameron Hayward and Peyton Wilson. And Xavier McKinney had the most total tackles for the Green Bay defense as well. So Micah Parsons, he did get a sack this game, but was rather quiet on the total tackles tip. He had 1 total tackle, which that was a solo tackle, and he had 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 QB hit.
We got to see if our theory holds true.
Let's take a look.
With no D getting thrown around this game. No good D in this game. The D was limp on both sides.
This was a rather sloppy game from the third down efficiency standpoint, if you will. Green Bay had 22 more first downs than the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Green Bay Packers were 5 of 12 on third down, while the Steelers were, yes, 1 for 10. 1 for 10 on third down for Mike
Okay,
Tomlin
well,
and the
maybe
Pittsburgh Steelers.
it was maybe the D was impactful when it needed to be. 1 for 10 is trash. What was the fourth down?
Both teams went 1 of 1 on fourth down,
Oh,
so
man.
100% on fourth down. The Green Bay Packers ended up running 6 more total plays than the Steelers, but the Green Bay Packers had 454 total yards compared to the Packers having 295. The Green Bay Packers had 360 passing yards, while the Steelers had 202. They both had similar rushing yards, with Green Bay just having one more rushing yard, if you will. And the Steelers ultimately ended up getting more share of penalties. They had 6 penalties for 65 yards, while the Packers had 5 for 47. So the Pittsburgh Steelers ended up having a fumble and had 3 less minutes of time of possession than the Green Bay Packers.
When you can achieve what you need to achieve with 3 minutes in 3 minutes of top, that's good. So the moral of the story, kids, is this: the D is good at certain points, but if the D makes the O sloppy, that top only needs to be 3 minutes. That's all you got to remember. You can have if the O is sloppy, the D ain't got to be that great, because it's going to the top is going to end up being what it needs to be. It's always there, man. You can read the game. The game of football is the game of life. Love that. But, even though I personally could care, like I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I guess that's part of the gripe. He's the guy from The Walking Dead. And I believe that he is following in the footsteps of one of the most terrible, diabolical greatest quarterbacks of all time, in Brett Favre. I just need to know which state he's stealing money from, and if he's screenshotting his penis and sending it all over to ESPN reporters. Like, then he would fall right into the Aaron Rodgers shit. I mean, to the Brett Favre shit.
So going into halftime, the Pittsburgh Steelers actually led the Green Bay Packers 16-7, but the Packers ended up scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter compared to Pittsburgh's 6. Just want to repeat that the Packers scored 21 points in compared to Pittsburgh's 6 points in the fourth quarter, resulting in that 35-25 victory for the Packers. But let's show love to Jordan Love. So Jordan Love had 20 consecutive completions at one point in the game. So this hadn't been done by a Packers quarterback since Brett Favre in 2007. Yes, Aaron Rodgers never accomplished this feat right here. And Jordan Love makes sure to do this in front of the guy who never got a chance to get 20 completions. So shout out to Jordan Love for letting Aaron Rodgers know that they made a right choice by drafting me. So let's take a look at the pass chart for Jordan Love. So
Damn, he was slanging that bitch.
Jordan Love completed 13 of 17 passes against man coverage for 232 yards and 3 touchdowns, the most yards versus man in a game this season. Jordan Love completed 20 straight completions during the game, with a 0.1% chance of completing all 20 passes based on the difficulty of each pass. So you can see right here from the green dots, they represent the completions, and the white circles represent the incompletions, and the blue circles represent the touchdown passes as well.
He was accurate as hell. Past 10, 25% of his passes were beyond 10 yards. that just again goes to show you that kids are falling in love with the highlights and not paying attention to where the game is. 75% of his passes were below, were under 10 yards. And that's insane. And how accurate he was. That means he took shots when it was the proper time to take shots. And I like that. So the game is nowhere near as complicated as what people make it. It's very, very simple. Only people who have to prove that they're the smartest man in the room make this shit more complicated than what it is. And that's the most aggravating thing in covering and talking about sports. That a lot of stupid people have y'all convinced that this game is harder than what it is.
Jordan Love generated a plus 16.3 EPA across his dropbacks, his third most in a game in his career. This is a stat EPA, expected points added. So the higher the number, you can see in the chart, in the infographic, the higher the higher the number, the more you expect to score. So Daniel Jones leads the quarterbacks with 0.29, and Jordan Love is second in 0.28. So the higher the number, the better. So Jordan Love is second in the NFL. So pretty good with its expected points added. And it was National Tight End Day yesterday. So let's show some love to Tucker Kraft in this route chart right here. Tucker Kraft caught 7 of 9 targets for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns to cap off the National Tight End Day. And Kraft gained 131 yards after the catch, the third most in the game by a tight end in the next gen stats era. So he had 131 of his 143 yards coming from that yak. So
Pilgrim was on that yak, skedaddling.
he was definitely doing some damage out there, and courtesy of Opta Stats. So tonight, Jordan Love did have those 20 plus consecutive passes, threw for 350 yards, had 3 touchdowns, had 0 turnovers, and 0 sacks. This is a historic feat because no other QB in NFL history has done all of that in the same game. So, man, definitely a great, great game from Jordan Love in the bright lights in the primetime game against his former OG, his former rival, and his former competitor, Aaron Rodgers and company. So shout out to Jordan Love and the Packers for getting it done with this victory. The Packers are now at the top of the NFC North Division with their 5-1-1 record. They are above Detroit, who are currently 5-2. So the Pittsburgh Steelers still are at the top of the very, very, very lopsided, very, 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 let's just say, weak AFC North Conference. This conference was definitely one of the more surprising conferences this year. Many people were not expecting the teams to have these horrible records, but Pittsburgh is still at the top of this conference with their 4-3 record. The second place team in this conference is the Bengals, and they have a 3-5 record. So yikes for the AFC North. But it looks like, man, that NFC North Conference is the real deal for sure. And shout out to the Packers for getting that dub last night against the Pittsburgh Steelers away. So let's move on now. Since we covered the NFL, we covered the week 8 scores, everything, and all the news in between. We are now at our Big Games BS section for today. We're going to bring the scope of the conversation outside the typical football world. And we love to start with the BS or Bussin' food review segment, where we show a food item, ask if it's BS or if it looks like it's bussin'. So for any of my breakfast lovers out there, we actually have this video courtesy of X Cuisines on X, and everybody in the chat, I want you to give this food a BS or a bussin' in the chat. We need y'all to spam it, because we are going to be reviewing jalapeno popper butter biscuits. So it's a little spicy combination for your breakfast. So let's see how they turn out.
Jalapeno popper butter biscuits. This is the easiest way to do biscuits. Just press your biscuit dough into a Pyrex dish, divide it with a pastry
Every time I
cutter,
hear Pyrex,
jalapenos in, fill
think
it,
it's something
and
so
toss
much
your
different.
popper mixture into the oven till it's baked all the way through. Finish it with maple syrup. Jalapeno popper butter biscuits. This is the
I
easiest
don't
way
know
to do
if
biscuits. Just
the
press
fingers
your
are
biscuit
throwing me off
dough.
because my mind's just going to the most dirty place ever. Why we put maple syrup on it though? I changed my mind. I don't want this anymore. That just looks like too much going on that early in the morning. I like biscuits, right? I like jalapeno poppers. I don't know if I like them together though. Yeah, we good. We cool. We cool on that. We'll go to the next. Yeah. Yeah. That early in the morning with nothing else on your stomach, like you gotta work for yourself. Like you'll get fired. Like HR will call you in if you have a regular job. But yeah, I changed my mind on that one. Yeah, that's not.
So we have an OG Wildland segment for today, and this is going to, even though we try to talk about other aspects besides football, we had to share this because, man, James, Cam Newton was putting the pause on some mascot, and he got caught
Was
in.
this real or was this like let's watch the video. I didn't watch it, so.
So this is a short clip, but after the 40-yard dash, it looks like the Alabama A&M Bulldog knocked off Cam Newton's fedora or Cam Newton's
Oh.
hat, and this resulted in this scuffle, if you will.
I want y'all to stop, bro. I mean, I gotta take these off. I gotta be serious. We were talking about this at practice. I see Cam every year. Jaden, you saw Cam? You saw Cam at the Super Bowl? No, you didn't see him at the Super Bowl, did you?
I saw him sitting down, but not standing up.
Okay. Very upset Jason Whitlock didn't show. I was ready, dog. We were going to jump. We were going to jump Jason Whitlock together. Cam doesn't know that, but we were going to jump him. Cam Newton I am not a small, petite male at all. Like right there, Cam, don't let the fact that he dresses like a swashbuckling pirate fool you. This man is from like East Atlanta. This man is crazy. This man assaulted and escorted two grown, fully abled males from one place to another while being pushed, and those guys couldn't leave. The one thing I've learned about said the epitaph. Inwords in their hats, like not baseball caps. I'm talking about hats. You don't pack that in your luggage. That has its own. Do you know these people pack? That has to have its own case. Did you know that? It's a suitcase. It's to keep the form of the hat. You don't touch a man's cap. And look at how you go back. Look at how he. Did you see what that? Oh, that was Cam was ready to connect that. That man was minding his business, and then he came over and he did too much. Bam. That's true. Remember the fight, and they won. They went to the Super Bowl that year. Cam was in a happy place, choking the shit out of a defensive player. I'm telling you, man, y'all be thinking, don't let the smooth taste fool you now. That man is crazy, dog. He's a large mammal. Like, they say, what is he, 6'4"? I don't believe it. I've been around a bunch of 6'4" people before. Cam's got to be 6'6". And just like when you see him, you just like, you think that don't play around with people that y'all got to stop playing around with when black men are in their happy place. That's our, like what's the avatar thing when he's in his avatar state? That's just avatar state. He's in avatar state. When we're happy, we're in our avatar state. Don't come messing with us and try to get us out of our happiness, because it could end well for you. I mean, I get where the guy, these HBCU cats, like, go back a little bit more, Jaden. Like, because I got to show you why he tried them. Like, pause right there. Pause. He's got them. Oh, damn it. Right there. Yeah. He got the Michael Jackson thing going on. He got the capri pants, the white socks, like the black shoes. Like, he's looking like he could go do Billie Jean like a motherfucker right now. Like, the ground is supposed to light up. So I get, but even Michael Jackson, man, bruh. Y'all heard the stories about MJ and beating up Tupac? Just because they dress like a fruit don't make them a berry. I don't know how y'all take it with that, how you want to take with it. That's all I got to say. That boy, that man is, and he got all them kids too, so you know he's stressed out. And we've never heard of him laying a finger on women, but all his baby mamas is in check. That motherfucker crazy. That's the only way I can pinpoint it. Have we heard any Cam baby mama come out and just be like, Cam ain't shit? I don't remember, but I know this baby mamas is in check. And that was an epic slap. We also saw Cam fighting people in like a one of them reality TV things where they were doing like the SEAL training and stuff. And Cam was out there like, Cam won't last in a brawl because he does, like, even right there, he doesn't. You got to come through with your hip when you got to follow through. But it was really like the intention was to get his attention. But man, he would have landed that overhand right. Like, if you landed that overhand right, that man, like, everybody sees the slap. The slap is to get attention. He probably said bitch too with it. Moves him out the way because he still don't understand. Now watch this right here. Like, it was like that boy was not blocking that if Cam would have let that thing go. Nah, you can't just, you gotta put that in the script. That's Rampage Jackson. Yeah. Just sometimes you gotta know who to try, man.
On Saturday, there was a versus showdown between No Limit and Cash Money at Complex Con in Las Vegas. Now, the versus ultimately ended up getting cut short for unknown reasons, not due to any of the performance acts there. Assume it's from Complex and the venue they had, but No Limit and Cash Money did have their verses, James. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on the verses and who you think won the versus matchup between the No Limit Soldiers and Cash Money.
So I didn't really watch it. I was in the hood.
Wow, fake fan.
I watched a little bit of it, but like, I'm literally, like I'm saying, Jen, I was off 8th Street behind Shands. Like, one of my players, one of Trey's teammates, it was his mom's birthday. If you're ever in the hood and you go to Campbell's One Stop, it's a corner store. It's literally everything you want. We was hanging outside of Campbell's One Stop, eating food, and it made me further believe that I want them to I hope the government takes away every program, because the reality of the situation, I learned black people gonna be okay. Like, black people gonna be. It was so much food. They kept bringing food out. I also had. I don't eat whole crabs. I eat crab legs. But man, Bruh. That crab that crab tray, it was so hot. No, it like the outside of my lips was burning. And I needed something to drink. And I made the worst mistake you could possibly make. I don't know why they ain't had no regular drinks. I think she was trying to get us to go in the store to buy the shit. But she had water on ice, and for some reason, they had blackberry ginger ale. It's not a ooh. Now when you're eating spicy food, like the shit fucked my mouth up. It made it worse. But we were vibing anyway, so we was out in the hood vibing. But from what I gathered from social media, it depends on who you are and your age of who won. Now, luckily, I'm like right there dead in the middle, right? So I remember when No Limit was coming on. Bout It Bout is one of my favorite songs. I'm not going to tell you guys, but for those who don't know, I grew up in the hood. And I grew up during the crack era. And I know what we was listening to during that time when people was moving shit. Heavy No Limit. Matter of fact, if you want to know, if you've ever wanted to know how to make crack, Master P has a song called Ghetto Dope where his brother C Murder gives you the recipe and the instructions. One, first find a person with the whitest snow. Don't buy from someone that you don't know. And then he talks about it's 1 gram of soda to 7 grams of Coke. And then you get in that thing and he talks about you put it in the Pyrex, heat it up, get it bubbling, and you turn it like a knot. And then he talks about all of the different things that you can do when you get crack. And you bop into it. We was just maybe crack like this. Maybe crack like this. But it's Baby was trying to go in and start trouble. Master P did a little bit more organization. But I heard Mia X really solidify why she was one of the dopest female MCs during her time that doesn't get enough props. And to be honest with you, if they didn't have Weezy, Juvenile is the only person in Cash Money during that time that we really rock with. And Juvenile got a whole album that they could have put. 400 Degrees. So when I came out of that other life, 400 Degrees is what matured me. Juvenile talked about so many topics on that. And Juvenile got a song on Fire, Juvenile on Fire, right? And how he starts, I was rapping it in the hood. I wasn't doing verses, I was just rapping because I love the song. And I don't know if it was on verses or not. But Juvie coming that thing, let's say I'm in a room with a bitch and that hold on won't fold. Like a man, I'm going to beat my meat and get my fucking nut for sure. She going to be drilled in. And I'm going to cut the TV off and go to sleep on that hold in. Now tell that to your girlfriend, you tell her everything else. She going to be with her boyfriend. You going to be by your damn self. While I'm in the bins with your friends and they getting nervous. Baby, I don't want nothing but some mouth and lip service. Don't act bad. Don't get mad. That's all I can do with you because I don't want your ass. The kind of fine with a nigga name on your spine. Gotta respect my fucking mind. How I'm gonna hit that from behind? Got a whole cross the coast from Malibu to the next door. I'm getting tired of these hoes. Time for me to restore. Because, he didn't say because, I'm just saying that in there. I done fixed these bitches' houses up and had them living swell. Yet and still, a nigga like me was eating that Taco Bell. It was so much game in there. Like, why am I tricking on these? But after that shit, all that trick shit, I stopped it and locked my fucking pockets. You can't pick at a pocket. Now I get what I can get out of these hoes and I'm up. And if she want to flex up, then I'm gonna beat that hoe up. That right there is man. Juvenile showed you how he went from a boy to a man in one verse. See, I know how to treat a hoe. Don't mix up your people, hoe. If I tell you do something, you better do what I say. A bitch will get you killed. That's the way I think. And then he said one of the greatest life quotes that I have used in my entire life. Pussy come and go. It been like that before I got here. Pussy don't wait for me or no Negro, but it's gonna stop here for a little while. And I just like it's just such a confident song. And then 400 Degrees, and then just they play. I did see where they played slow motion. I forgot where they put it, but when they played the I didn't even realize Mercedes was singing the hook on that song. You ain't gotta you ain't gotta say too much. I can look in your eyes. I can tell you won't fuck. And like that song was crazy back in the day. I had forgot all about that song, dog. Like when they just coming out and then just like they play How You Do That there. They should have took one of the funniest things with How You Do That there is they had is Ricky Smiley talk about the No Limit reunion. They had a dude play the bass guitar and like he was doing it and you can see it. But Young Bleed was in that thing. And then again, see you in these streets, anything goes. My cousin in the pen pumping, I get swole. Sent me a letter saying, P, get your paper. Don't trust these fools, they'll take you. Husband just a habit. Cornbread and cabbage, popcorn and grits. I'm trying to get a rabbit. What about a nice stallion to slide in? 20-inch Vols with some candy painted riding. Like it's just when you see it, it takes you back to a place and time of where you were at. And that's the beautiful thing about verses that was missing, especially during COVID when everybody had so many things going on. Like me and my partner OJ, when they was doing some of the stuff, like we would act like we in the like we was in the club, man. Like, hey man, you see Shawty right there, like Redbone. Hey man, tell her holler at me, man. Hey, run interference down my girl with me. Like it's just like you in there, and it just makes you remember all of that stuff, man. And just did they play Ice Cream Man by P?
Yeah, they did.
Like, I mean, let me tell you how iconic that song is. Every black marching band plays Ice Cream Man. And a lot of people don't even know that they're playing Ice Cream Man. I'm trying to think what other, like, it's just, did they play Break Him Off something?
Yeah, that's where it kind of like did the 180 for them. Yeah, and then the last song was they brought out Snoop and they played Down for My, and that was the last song they played, and that
I
killed
ain't
them.
gonna lie, you gotta hear them play that, and you gotta pull your hit back. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to waste the hit with that one. You're not beating Down for My, like dun 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 dun. But like even Break 'em Off's a hustler, baller, gangster, cat pillar. Who I be? Your neighborhood drug dealer. Like Fiend, did Fiend do Womp Womp or talking like I bring it? Cause man,
Yeah.
Fiend was one of them guys that's cold too, that nobody really be paying attention to. They could have like P could have been like P could have really ended like P should have watched the Locks digital performance and the musical ass whipping that they did a Dipset, who I happen to like Dipset, especially Jewels, but like the way the Locks like crafted all of their stuff, like P could have been like after they would have played. Did they play Number One Stunner, the Cash Money?
I think so. Let me double check. I'm looking at they played it.
Because
Yeah.
I'd have been like, you know, again, got talking to Wallen. Like, say, man, they can say whatever they want to say, baby. But everything they got from me, you hear me? And play, whoa there, big timer, big timer. I got money to the ceiling. Big timers. And then where the hot boys at? Right here, over there, over there, over there, over there. Where the hot girls at? Like, it's again, the hot boys and hot girls came out of No Limit. And then you get, but they could have really set it off by getting Mystical on the payphone and let him rap. Cause you know Mystical got a problem. Like he real rapey. Yeah, he got jammed up again, man. Like he just can't.
Yeah.
He
They
just
played Chopper Style too, and that was over.
They played Chopper Style.
Yeah.
Damn, that was it. Jump us down, jump us down, jump. All right, but then nobody could play my what I think it was with No Limit, or was he on his own? I know everybody loves Soldier Slim, but man, boy, that song in college with, because I ain't gonna lie, I know what I just said about Juvie, right? But Soldier Slim made a real man anthem, right? He said, "I pay for it. I pay for it. I pay for it. If I want it, if I want it." Like, that would have just been cool to hear. But like, you know, but it's like songs that I really like from all of them that probably just I like them. Like, I like Hot Boys Keisha. Like, if you a real one, you know about Keisha. Boy, ooh, they made a song about basically them running a they didn't run a train because it wasn't all consecutive, but she went through everybody. Ooh, there she go over there by the liquor store. I want some more. Me and Twerk the same hole before. I heard BG played that's what it was. BG played Cash Money as an Army, and they put that up against How You Do That There thing, and that's just not a good that's not a good, that wasn't a good one right there. BG got some other hits that they probably should have played. Like, they should have played Get Your Shine On by BG. Like, that's a very good, like, vibing, like, riding song. But again, also the other side of it is a lot of these people only like the hits. They don't really like the groups or they don't know what it was like. You didn't have the Mercedes album cover on your wall, an album that I don't know if it ever came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, but you know, she had that thing spread, bro. Like, it was crazy. Like, this, like, now I think about it, nobody can say that this generation is wild compared to what my generation went through. Like, we literally all had that Mercedes thing, and she just on the car with everything spread. With everything spread, dog. We grew up with Luke. The starting the song, "Don't stop, bop them titties, shake that the doodle brown." Like, there is not a song. If that play, if Trey tells me, "Dad, let me get the aux cord," and that comes in, I'm going to act like, "Hey, listen, God damn it, son, you're 12 years old. You don't need to be, you don't know nothing about no doodle brown. You don't need to know nothing about that shit. Just shake," or another one, "Just shake that ass, bitch, and let me see what you got." Like that's how the song starts. She ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. Hoorah, hoochie mama. Like the shit, like the 90s was a wild, the 90s and early 2000s was a wild time to be alive. That being said, I'm just glad that everybody had a good time. I heard that they didn't have the venue for long, and that should have been in New Orleans. And Lil Wayne did all that bitching about not being honored. It didn't even show up. But the problem is, Lil Wayne is that syrup done fuck with his brain, so he got a hole in it. So, but yeah, nah, it's just nostalgia. I love that stuff, man. Like, Silk actually this is an unpopular take, and y'all tell me if I'm wilding. I'm still not gonna buy a Silk the Shocker album. Silk walked so some of these other rappers could run.
Blueface.
Like, Silk wasn't really my boy Mario, who was a producer for No Limit. I just tried to call to see if he would answer his phone, but he didn't answer it because I have questions. He used to say Silk not anywhere near as bad as what y'all think, dog. And I'm like, you know what? Listening to some of the stuff, it's not bad. It's not that bad. And Snoop on No Limit wasn't really. Snoop on No Limit kind of that down for my though was crazy. But yeah, man. But it sounds lit though. It sounds lit. So they should have played. I know this wouldn't have counted, but again, how wild the world was, and they talk about old men with young chicks now. Y'all know Beyonce. Y'all remember when Destiny Child first came out? Y'all remember? Does anybody else remember? Do you ever wonder with me? You don't come home to yours to see. While in the middle of the night, he leaves you alone because everything you got is with me. And then Master P was rapping on that. Like, do y'all remember that? Y'all remember Silk like running through all of them? Like, y'all what a time to be alive. God, I did some stupid shit growing up. Like, that's crazy that I was even like allowed to be listening to this kind of music when I was a child. But I was outside though, so thank you for the Polynesian prayer that we start at the beginning of the show, because that must have been what was prayed over, because I clearly should have more children than I have right now, or I should be shot. But Master P, we fought people with Master P. So yeah, man. So that's why. I'm sorry, Jay. That just took me back. Like I'm about to go sell dope in my car, in my head. Playing on like money ain't even like what was fun about those times was it was bad though, is that in the hood there was a currency, there was a lot of money that just flowed, and it's not like that anymore because you just can't make that kind of money no more. You can't get that big. Not on pills, but it's again, like I said, it was an awesome time to be alive. So, but yeah, that's awesome, man. They played Bourbons and Cadillacs. Did they play? Oh man, did they play Is There a Heaven for a Gangster, or did they play I Really Miss My Homies? Because that would have probably put everybody in tears. I don't think Cash Money got a song. Well, Lil Wayne does, but I don't think he wasn't there, so they wouldn't have played it. Ain't do sitting in the ghetto thinking about all my homies passed away. Like, that would have had us all in tears, man. And Heaven for a Gangster, man, boy, that's some good songs, man. Yeah, them youngins don't know nothing about that. I'm done reminiscing, Jaden. I'm sorry, man. It was just my heart went back to a place.
That's all I had for the show, James. Any last words as we finish off this Monday episode of Big Games BS?
I just realized nobody wanted the baseball tickets. So, anyways, if we'll do it on Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday's show will be giving away tickets to FSU's homecoming, as well as baseball tickets for the Friday festivities for the Garden and Gold game. And we'll keep you updated on any other different things going in. Outside of that, I really appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me, and we will see you guys next time.